Tell us a little bit. Tell us where we're at so far this season, how it's going for you guys so far.
Well, I've been promoted to the senior team, so I've moved up with a lot
Did
of the guys
not
that
know
I've been
that.
coaching the
Nice.
last few years. Yeah, yeah, moved up this year. But we're 6-5 right now. We just finished kind of a tough week. We 4 games in 4 days, and the weekend couldn't get here fast enough. Our guys needed a couple of days off to kind of regroup and get back at it again next week.
Coach, tell us a little bit about some of the key guys on the team.
Some of them same guys that played for me the last couple of years on the junior team. Russell Perry, Matt Powell, Hunter Pruitt, Zach Humphreys, and then we've got some new guys in, D. Rice, Garrett Stevens, Jordan Gillum, all from Spartanburg, Norman, and Broome High Schools, and we've got some kids from Oak Brook. But we've got a really talented bunch that I think can make some noise later on in the season.
Coach, I know you guys had a tough one against a very good Greer team in that game, but before that loss, you guys have won 5 in a row. Tell us a little bit about, during that streak, what are some of the things that your team has done well in?
Well, we hit the ball pretty well, and pitching-wise during that little 5-game win streak we had, pitching was right where we needed it to be, throwing strikes, getting ahead in the counts. This week, after Tuesday night's game, it's kind of been the exact opposite. Tuesday we had 18 hits and left 18 runners on base, 12 of which were in scoring position. But we just didn't pitch well enough or play defense well enough to beat Greer. And then Thursday and Friday against Gaffney and Inman, we didn't play well enough to win. And pitchers we were throwing people who hadn't pitched a whole lot, and we were behind in the count, throwing fastballs in hitters' counts, and that's not a recipe for success. And then we booted around a good bit, and that was frustrating to see. Offensively, our approaches have been better the last couple of nights after leaving so many people on base. But, just some of them things that just happen in the sport of baseball. We hit balls hard right at people. If it's a foot to the left or to the right, it's in the gap, and we score 2 or 3 runs. So it's just been one of those weeks, and it's magnified because you're playing back to back to back to back. If it's spread out a little bit, it's not as frustrating, I guess. But when it's 4 straight days of the same thing, it just kind of frustrates everybody.
And Coach, I wanted to ask you, just looking through the Twitter sphere here, we just want to know coming up, who are you guys playing? What days are you playing? What's the schedule looking like next week and maybe a week after that?
Well, we've got Buffalo on Tuesday. They're going to come to Duncan Park. And then we're off Wednesday. And then Thursday and Friday, we're on the road again at Inman and at Greer. And then that next week, July the 1st, we have a doubleheader against Inman. And then the regular season's over. It seems to get here really quick, and then the season's over really quick. Playing 3 and 4 games a week. So as long as there's no rain, that's kind of how our schedule is shaped up right now.
Well, Coach, for the most part, I think, as you mentioned, rain. I know in the high school season, it seemed, especially early on, that rain was the issue. I mean, it seemed like games were being, postponed left and right with the rain. But lately, we've had fairly nice weather, even though it's been about 100 degrees. But I mean, I'm sure, as a coach, you're not having to deal with as much weather delays. That's got to be nice that you're able to get out there and play these games.
Yeah, back in the spring, I'm pretty sure I saw Noah building an ark, so that could have been an issue. But so far this summer, we couldn't have asked for much better. It was 68 degrees at one game last week, and then yesterday in Inman, it felt 105 in the dugout. But, I'll take sun and heat over rain any day. Because you talking about messing up a pitching lineup, that would be having rainouts and having to work around all that, kids' schedules, and it's just better if we play it in 95-degree weather than having to watch it rain all day.
Absolutely, Coach. And just, tell me, as you mentioned, that the season's already here, wrapping up, as you guys, get ready for the end of the season. How important is it right now for you guys to start playing your best ball?
Well, it's extremely important. And that's what we've talked about yesterday, especially was, even though we struggled at the end of this week, everything we want is still in front of us. Really, we're only a game out of first place. It's not like we've completely played ourselves out of anything that we've wanted. And the funny thing is, as bad as we've played, we're one hit away from having the potential to win both of the games this week. I mean, Wednesday at Greer was just one of those crazy baseball games. Todd Shaughnessy did a great job writing about it, but it's just one of those things. And even in that 5-game winning streak, we weren't playing our best baseball. We were just overcoming some of the things we haven't overcome the last couple of games. We were able to get a big hit when we needed one, or we made a pitch or a play that we needed, and that just didn't happen the last 3 games. And we can't let 3 games define the rest of our season, and I don't think we will. We've got a lot of good kids who've won a lot of games, not just in American Legion baseball, but at the high school level and some college guys. And, they know what it takes to win, and it's just baseball is one of those sports. It's not like football where you play on Friday or Saturday and you have to wait a whole week to play again. And so if you get in a little bit of slump, it's magnified when you're playing every day. So our guys will respond to it. I think our spirits are up. We needed a break, and so the weekend came at a good time.
And, Coach, looking ahead to the playoffs, how do you see your team making a run? What's some of the things you guys will have to do, maybe improve on, but also keep up the pace at? What are some of those things that you guys will have to do?
Well, we're definitely going to have to pitch and play defense better. When we get ahead in the count and we can throw whatever pitch we want to throw, we're pretty successful. We can't boot the ball around as much as we're doing. I mean, just routine plays you got to make. And hitting-wise, we've got to do a better job with runners in scoring position, whether that's, just choking up, putting the ball in play. We've done a lot better the last 2 days doing that instead of trying to hit balls off the wall, which we're pretty good at, but you can't depend on that every single game, that you're just going to sit back and hit ball after ball after ball off the wall. You just got to choke up, put it in play, and drive that run in or move that runner up 90 feet to the next bag. And, we just got to do simple things better. We do some outstanding things, but the simple routine things is what we've got to improve on. But if we do that, we can make a run. We've definitely got the bats to do it. And we're just waiting for somebody to step up on the mound.
Well, Coach, as you mentioned, you guys got Buffalo coming up, and we want to wish you the best of luck as you guys wrap up the season. I know you won a couple of championships with the juniors, and now you're trying to do it with the big boys. And Coach, we wish you the best of luck moving forward. Appreciate your time this Saturday morning joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Coach.